Okay, real quick, I'm about to tell you how being a God works. Um, okay, so everything makes sense. I know people read things how God does this and how God does that, and it's like that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. How do you do it? Okay, I'm gonna tell you how it's done. First of all, you want to know how you're able to see through, how you're able to see anything and everything at all times. Uh, it's common sense actually. Everything is an atom. Everything is made out of atoms. So if you made atoms, you can see through them. You can see clearly through everything. Uh, how do you read minds? Uh, how life actually is. Everything telegraphs itself, so you can read it. Uh, when you speak in homonyms, like word association. You speak in homonyms. You're not saying one thing at a time. Homonyms. Like you're saying underneath. You're saying things underneath. Uh, Let me give you an example. Um, saying something, saying something, like saying something. Uh, just because of where I was right now, I'm just saying something. I'm looking at my cell phone. So you notice people have temporary dyslexia. Like you get words crossed up. You'll say, uh, I don't know. You'll say a word backwards or something. You'll say a couple of letters differently. The reason for that is because how the mind works is you actually are conscious of saying things the way you pronounce it in your accent. You're saying two things at a time and you don't notice it. So you will confuse the enunciation of it. So there is you wonder how you create, how you manifest stuff. If you can produce heat, you know you can produce heat anytime you want to. So that's the same as making something come into existence. You just make a lot of it. How do you see more than one thing at a time? Uh, can you whistle and cut the grass? Can you interpret a language as you interpret? Habla español, español, español. I'm saying two things at a time. There's wordplay. That's how homonyms work. If you see it's good. Espanol. I don't know. When you interpret a language, you're seeing English and that at the same time. So you spread your mind out. Imagine this. Imagine this. When you're totally relaxed, you can think clearly. So you spread your mind all the way out. There's unlimited room. And you can move and think. You can think and speak and move all at the same time. That's 3 thoughts at a time. So of course you can think a trillion things at a time if you were not limited to human means. So now about the ethics of it, it's like you can't have jealousy because you would want to take from someone. You would give someone a gift and they're so good at it, they get all this attention. You can't take it from them if they're so good at it because you know that you're better than them. So you can't have jealousy because of what they can do. God says he's jealous of other gods, but he called Satan the god of this earth. If you make it to be that, if you say that's what it is, then you have a tolerance for it. You would have to get rid of jealousy. You can't be a hateful person. You have to be good. If you're hateful, if you allow sin, if you allow people to hurt each other, if you want people to hurt each other, you're automatically oppressive. You don't want to be an oppressive God. That limits your praise. That limits your worship. That limits your followers. Now you have a whole bunch of enemies. So you have to know how to control everything. So it's like the wisdom of it. First of all, now I'm Trent years old. I'm only 30. I'm Trent, but I understand what wisdom is. It's like you grow in wisdom as you age, and it's like every time you make a mistake, you make an adjustment in your heart, in your mind, and it's like I have to correct this, and you see why you correct it. These moments in time that you always do this, and you grow in wisdom. So it's like making the right decision at the right time for the best possible outcome. So I read through Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and stuff like that. So that helps to see those ways. Not saying that anyone's gonna be a god, or I'm just saying this is how it works. Like, to put it in perspective for you so it makes sense. Like, so how do you read someone's thoughts? If you make a computer, you know the programming. If you can write a program, you can read the programming. That's how simple that is. You know how the heart works. You can monitor a blood pressure. You can monitor a pulse on an EKG. So, you know, let's see. There's a common ground, and then there's a personal level. You would know everyone just like you know people in your family, and you can expect them to do stuff. They're predictable at this point. Some of us. That's how well things telegraph themselves. You know how to blow the wind. The wind is actually a thing, and you can pull it. You know how you're going to blow the wind. You know when leaves are going to fall because you can see it and you can feel it. Like everything is an extension of yourself. All material is an extension of yourself. Like you can do anything in your mind, almost. I know how it works. Some people are in coconuts and tin cans. I see movies. But, you know, think about this. Think about how vivid your dreams are and visions that you have at night. Are they pretty clear? Like, you can control how, like, what you're seeing right now, this seems like it's real. It looks real. It can look like a movie. You have to stretch your mind. You have to look at perspectives, like squinting your eyes almost. You have to squint your eyes. Is the best way I can describe it. Let's see. So, you need order. That's the ethics of it. You will need order, so you teach good. Why you don't make a whole bunch of gods, why you don't have polytheism, is because you would get jealous. Or, well, you would get jealous. That's being honest. So, you say, why is the world the way it is? Why does God allow things to happen the way they do? Things that happen to good people, bad things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people. that's the route that he decided to take. But he says it's for his glory, so that we can understand. It actually makes you appreciate heaven more. That's the real purpose behind it, so you can appreciate heaven more. And because you can do anything, being God does get boring at some point, and you do want to see what will happen if you do this and do that. So it's like when you just got $1 billion or got $1 million, you want $1 million, or you want to go spend it on everything, and then it's like you're bored of your money. If you get too rich, you get bored of your money. You hear them talking about how depressed they are. It's like which is why people have to do things. Let me see. So you could, in all actuality, God could draw everyone to good. All you have to do is rock a good intent. You have to be a good intent and let it exude from yourself, and people will be drawn to good. If you express love, people will be drawn to it. So we could simply, it's people do what they're comfortable with. So I don't know why Satan is the prince of the air and this is his earth, but eternal damnation makes no sense. Being God is easy, actually. That's why they say nothing is too hard for God. Nothing is too hard for God, because being God is easy. It's a very privileged standpoint. And it's easy to not have compassion on some people. That's why he has to repent sometimes. So what I really want more than anything is for God to repent this old judgment, which is eternal damnation. It's like people learn, they commit a sin the first time a sin is committed, and they have eternal damnation. I'm talking about like Belshazzar, who drank out of the holy cups, the holy dishes. They used it and mocked the Israelites. That was Nebuchadnezzar's son. He got eternal damnation. Ananias and Sapphira got eternal damnation. They stole from God. Saul tried to spare a man for being a friend of Israel, and he wanted to offer a sacrifice with their cattle. He was supposed to kill him and all the cattle of his kingdom. He wanted to offer a sacrifice to God. He got eternal damnation. God took his spirit from him. He made a series of mistakes, unfortunate mistakes after that. But besides that, it's an old judgment. It's like the same judgment. It's like raining down fire from heaven and burning people up, and plagues of disease, and bears eating children, and I don't know. It's an old judgment. It was your first time dealing with subordinates that was angels. Those were angels to God. They spent time with you and they rebelled. You say things like everlasting mercy, use terms like everlasting mercy, and I will not be angry forever. So I would just like to see you reconsider eternal damnation.